Dave Palumbo here with another RxMuscle supplement review. Today's topic is going to be cannabinoid oils and kratom. Two compounds that are kind of like weird esoteric type things I think a lot of people are really not that familiar with. So I figured I would go over them a little bit and see what the applications possibly are in bodybuilding and fitness, of course. Now, CBD oil seems to be the new craze. Now, CBD comes from the hemp plant. As we all know, from the hemp plant, we also get, marijuana, and in marijuana, we have what we call CBDs, or cannabinoid oils, but we also have, the THC, which is the hallucinogenic aspect of marijuana, which makes it appealing for a lot of people to smoke it or vape it or whatever they're doing, eat it, whatever they're doing it with these days. But the cannabinoids actually have medicinal properties in the sense that they create relaxation in the body. They seem to be natural painkillers. They help anxiety, and a lot of people, have been using these. The great thing is that they now can isolate the cannabinoid oil from the THC so that you can produce a nutritional product that's free of any kind of, drug-like effects, I guess you can say, in the sense that you're not going to crash your car, using them or be impaired. Now, I've tried, several different companies have sent me different types of cannabinoid oils, from the pills to a sublingual dropper I had under my tongue, which worked, but didn't really taste so great. The pills worked okay. Gabe Bowen's got a new cannabinoid product with a branched-chain amino acid electrolyte solution with the cannabinoid powder in there, and I felt that was pretty good. But the one I felt the most was the vape pen. They have these little vape pens, you can vape the stuff. What I felt was relaxation. It wasn't anything significant. It didn't feel like I took a Xanax, or it didn't feel like I, popped a pain pill or anything like that. I just kind of felt like a kind of at ease type of thing. It's kind of esoteric, but you know what? I think it's one of these supplements, cannabinoids, that work better with people who are in chronic pain or discomfort. So in other words, I don't have pain or discomfort, my life's rosy, all full of roses. Now, seriously, I'm not living in chronic pain. I would like to see, someone who lives in some kind of disruptive pain. Those are the people who seem to be reporting the best results from it, and I think that's really where the application is. So if you have nerve pain, if you have something that's aching you all the time, headaches maybe, cannabinoid oil has probably got some good applications. Do I think it will negatively impact bodybuilding as far as building muscle and burning fat? No. So I don't think you have to worry necessarily about you're not going to burn enough fat. Now, if it makes you lazy, you don't go to the gym, you don't train hard, yeah, that's not good. But I don't think the cannabinoid receptors will do anything, as far as, inhibiting fat loss or preventing you from putting muscle on, which is a good thing. Because as we know, the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen reduce the inflammatory response in the body, and that's not good for muscle building. We want that acute initial inflammatory response in the muscles that we train and break down so that the body has a signal there to help repair itself. The cannabinoids don't seem to affect that inflammatory response, which is good, and I think that makes it something that bodybuilders can indeed use. Now, when we talk about kratom, okay, which the chemical name of that is mitragynine, that's something that's interesting. The government wanted to actually, the DEA wanted to make it a controlled one substance, which would put it up there with like heroin, and cocaine. That was nixed. It never went through. They kind of stopped that bill from being passed because they said, you know what, we have to kind of, let's explore this a little more before we knee-jerk put this on the controlled one substance list. The knee-jerk response is the drug companies don't want anyone releasing anything natural that could possibly compete with their opioids that they sell. Their OxyContin and oxycodone and all the other, Percocet and Percodans. They don't want to lose any of that business. So they probably put a lot of pressure on the congressman to get this thing passed. When the other side, the science community side, said, hey, you better take a look at this. This is naturally occurring substances that don't really have addictive qualities to them. They say that when you take kratom on a regular basis and you stop it, you might get a nose sniffle. That's about the extent of the withdrawal. So that to me tells me it's not addictive, not severely addictive at least. Maybe the feeling is addictive. It might be mentally addictive. It's certainly not physically addictive. Also, one of the things that makes it very safe to use, and as a lot of people are wondering how that works. Well, the cannabinoid oils we talked about bind to cannabinoid receptors. This kratom actually binds to the opioid receptor. So it gives pain relief, it gives anxiety relief, but it doesn't seem to suppress respiration, which is one of the problems with the opioids. If you take too much of it, people die of heroin overdose all the time, because if you take too much, you stop breathing, basically. This, I guess, Kratom supplement doesn't cause the suppression of respiration. It also doesn't cause the constipation that a lot of the opioids do. That's another side effect that people really hate. If you're on chronic opioids on a regular basis because you're in chronic pain, whether it be from back or whatever, you can't go to the bathroom. It's a terrible, terrible side effect on it. Even if you use my Fiberlife supplement, you're gonna have trouble going to the bathroom. So this makes Kratom, a really interesting, possible substitution for people, because there's a lot, pain addiction in this society today, even in the bodybuilding world. I see it. There's a lot of guys addicted to painkillers, and whether they're taking it because they're in pain or they're taking it because they're in emotional pain, that doesn't matter. But the problem is when they want to stop it, they can't get off it because they're physically addicted to it so severely. So here's a great alternative that is naturally available and that people are not going to have to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars a year for, like they do, going to pain clinics and going to their doctors and paying for these OxyContin prescriptions. So once again, will Kratom negatively impact bodybuilding? I think it might more so than the CBD oils do. Once again, theoretically, if you're overstimulating the opioid receptors in the brain, sometimes there's an elevation in certain hormones. There could be an elevation in estrogen a little bit. Sometimes there's some fluid retention, and there is some constipation sometimes associated with it. Doesn't seem to be the case with Kratom, but we don't know. I don't think people have been using it long enough. People have been asking me the right dosage. I don't really know. I haven't tried it yet. So not that I need to try, but I'm just saying I don't think it's been around to quantify it. And that's another thing. We don't really know how pure the samples of what people are buying are. Is it a pure form? Is it cut with other stuff? Are there different, I guess you could say, percentages of product that people can get, extracts that are more potent than others? These are things that we still have to explore. But if you are in chronic pain, I'd much rather see you try Kratom, okay, than use a Percocet on a regular basis, because that's going to lead down the wrong path, and that's not good for bodybuilding. We know that already. Also a lot of these, opioids like the Percocet and the, I guess you could say the Vicodins, they kill your appetite. And if you can't eat on bodybuilding terms, you're not going to put muscle on. So I think it's an exciting new era. I like to see natural substances replacing drugs. I think the CBD, I guess you could say, segment is something that has a lot of potential there. Whether the government will ban it or not is still up in the air. I haven't produced a supplement with cannabinoid for my species nutrition line because I don't know where the future of it really lies at this point. I'd hate to make a product and then have them pull it off the shelf. So there are supplements out there you can try. If you're looking for it, you can just Google it online. Believe me, like I said, I know Gabe Moen has a really good product that he sent to me that I tried. I think it's called CBD Black, and it's amino acids, electrolytes, and CBD powder. Once again, you can try to get these vape pens with the CBD in it, and they do work to a certain degree. So if you are a person out there suffering in chronic pain, you might want to give it a shot. I know there's a lot of bodybuilders with back pain out there. Maybe even Ronnie Coleman wants to give it a shot. Obviously, he's been suffering tremendously with a lot of pain. If I were him, I would try the Kratom and the CBD together. Maybe he'd do a super vape pen of the stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys learned a little bit about two substances that are kind of in the shadows right now, but are looking to come out of the shadows. I like to educate you guys, keep you up to date. For now, I'm Dave Palumbo with another RxMuscle supplement review.